Hi Gemini, welcome to your December 2022 monthly messages from Spirit Reading. This is your girl Mermaid Scales Tarot. Thank you so much for joining me here. This is a general reading for the Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, North Node, and or any other strong placement for the sign of Gemini. Please keep in mind that this is a general reading, not a personal reading, so it may resonate, it may not. Regardless if this story is for you, please take what resonates and leave what doesn't for someone else who needs to hear that message. So let's go ahead and jump right on in, Gemini. I mean, the dead center of this, we have the Ten of Pentacles for your month. And I mean, I do feel a presence of ancestors around you, mainly with this Ten of Pentacles. There is something that you're establishing in your life, Gemini, that you're going to make long term. This is not something you're looking for to have just as a temporary thing. I wonder if this is a lifestyle change. I wonder if this is a career advancement, a goal, a dream, ambition that you're sticking to. You know, one thing about Geminis that a lot of people don't know, that I've come to notice with the Geminis I know, is that Geminis are ambitious. I've come across so many Geminis that just stick to their plan until it manifests, until it happens. And Geminis really don't give up. When they want something, they go for it and they work at it. They may run into obstacles. They may run into things that try to block them or steer them off path, but it never stops them. And I do feel, Gemini, that there are people that are wanting to come into your life to help you support on this journey here. And it may be something new for you guys. Maybe you're used to doing a lot by yourselves. You're not used to asking for help. But I do feel that there is energy of people trying to come in for you, or even divine support. I do want to say that with the angels, spirit guides, ancestors that we have around us at all times, we must ask. We have free will, so they don't want to intervene. And I know sometimes when we ask, we don't get exactly what we want at the time we want it, but there's reasons for that. With the Ten of Pentacles at the dead center, Gemini, this is telling me that whatever this goal you have, this ambition you have, this dream you have, is going to be yours. And for some of you, you may be healing a lot of family relationships that you never thought you were going to heal before. And whether that is through conversations with certain people in your family, because it's the holidays, you may be traveling to go see them, they may be traveling to come see you. I do feel conversations that you feel more open to having with certain individuals in your life that you weren't ready for before. Maybe it's because they weren't as open to hearing you out. They weren't as open to hearing your side of the story, because sometimes when we don't want to admit or hold accountability to things, people will just dismiss our experiences, dismiss our journeys, because it is something that is highlighting something they did wrong. And with our egos, some of us just can't handle that. But something about Gemini, the way you want to establish some sort of new, prosperous, abundant energy in your life, there are things you're starting to see that you may need to heal with certain people. And even if that's not through conversation, it could just be sitting with your angels, your spirit guides, your higher self, and breathe in the energy of release. I release any experiences that try to hold me back to my old story that I am outgrowing. I do feel, Gemini, by releasing any sort of energies, experiences, traumas, relationships that have just been preventing you from flourishing, you really are going to set the playground for 2023 to have the Ten of Pentacles that you want. But this is not an overnight process, Gemini, and that is something I want to tell you. I know there's a lot of readers, and I've seen it for myself too in my own cards, where some things just happen so fast for some people. But what you're doing, Gemini, with the impact that you're doing through this healing, through this releasing, through this establishing a new idea, perspective of what you want for yourself and what you want for your life, it's something that's going to take some time. But every step and every day you're doing it, it does matter. And I want you to know that. Your angels want you to know that. And you have very strong angelic energy around you. I don't know if this is guardian angels, specific passed down loved ones, or maybe even archangels that you're starting to contact, get to know. They are on your side, Gemini. And they do want you to know to be patient And I know that's not everyone's favorite message, but it is the truth. But what you're doing does matter. Whether that's your own healing, whether that's something you're doing for your community, your family, your ancestors by healing the line, it matters, Gemini. Bottom of the deck, we have the King of Air. This is Aquarius energy. Some of you can have Aquarius strongly in your chart. You could be dealing with an Aquarius. Does not have to be the case. But for this being the setup, Gemini, you are becoming the King of Air. Masculine air energy, regardless of gender or sex, is someone that has integrity, that sees things clearly, that in a way is a rock. And not a rock that is unfeeling, uncaring. But a rock is someone that I've been learning through my own mentors in my life. Someone who listens to others' experiences, analyzes the situation, and is a problem solver. Instead of soaking in the energies of people that maybe just don't want to improve, but just want everything to remain the same, even as shocking as that is. Some people are very comfortable with victim mindset, with blaming the universe for everything to go wrong in their life. And enlightenment is not about always being happy. Enlightenment is about responding to certain situations that happen in our life in a way that we can view it in a higher perspective. Because let's be honest, life is life. We're always going to have those challenges. We're always going to have those obstacles. And quite frankly, the process of healing never ends. It's like an onion where you get to a different layer and a different layer and a different layer. But that's okay, because you're strong enough to be aware of the truth, Gemini. You're strong enough to see things as they are and to respond in a way that is going to solve an issue instead of being a part of the issue or staying in an issue. And that's the long-term process that you're doing right now to solve a certain aspect of your life in December. And to me, it feels like a huge step in family. It feels like a huge step in security, in abundance and prosperity. Maybe some of you guys are healing the poverty mindset, the scarcity mindset that maybe your family kind of established within you. I'm picking up for someone that they may have been raised by parents who either had depression, anxiety, or maybe a parent that just was a little bit, I don't want to say delusional per se, but almost as if it was a parent that just did not want to pay attention to the problems that were occurring in the family, and they turned a blind eye to it. And Gemini, for you being the person I feel in your family to always call out the situation or to voice your truth in what you felt uncomfortable with certain family dynamics, you may have been labeled as the black sheep in some way. But truly, even if you were the youngest in your family, even if you were a child, you saw things in a higher light that a lot of your family members did not, or people in your direct community. I'm even hearing adopted for someone, so maybe this is your adopted family that you felt like you kind of didn't have an understanding of, or they didn't have an understanding of you. But with the 10 of Pentacles being the dead center of this, there is something, Gemini, that you are choosing to implement every day of your life moving forward so you can have an abundant mindset, a prosperous mindset. Maybe for some of you, you may be starting your own career, thinking about doing your own career, your own thing. Online, setting up your own business. I'm seeing the Etsy logo for some of you guys. Doesn't have to be the case, but something where it's going to establish long-term prosperity. And for those of you that are just having that idea right now in December, it is something that is going to make you wealthy. So just throwing that out there. And then others of you, again, if this is going more towards the family dynamics, I understand the holidays may be very hard times for some people. And maybe in the past it was a very hard time for you. But because you're becoming this enlightened being, because you've always seen certain things from a higher vibration, I do feel this time around you're responding differently. If there are certain relationships you can see being healed and worked out, that's what you're doing. I do feel for others of you, if you're just even meditating, praying to heal that side of you that could never get along with certain people in your family, in your close environment, do that. because I think that that's going to create a very firm foundation in your life that you can always rely on. You're becoming the rock, Gemini, and it's pretty inspiring. You will always be stable. You will always be grounded. And I think that's the way you're choosing to respond to certain things that may be outside of your control. But even if it is outside of your control, you know how to ground yourself in a way that will never shake you. That is who you're becoming. What's crossing this is the Three of Cups. Cancer energy. So with the Three of Cups, this could be the challenge of having certain people around you that maybe previously triggered you. And I can understand, right, about having people that are unaware of how they trigger others. They may, whether they choose to or not, they just don't see how their behaviors really get under people's skin. And so I feel this is one of those people around you, Gemini, that is a little bit more aloof to the sensitivity of others, the feelings of others. But I do feel, regardless of your past history, this person does want to get along with you and they do want to heal. But I do see another sense of them that may not be as mature, as forthcoming, as accountable. And I feel that's something that may have always bothered you about the relationship dynamic, Gemini. If this is not so much the challenge as much as enhancing the situation, I do feel you have a close circle of friends, family members, people you call, people you can open up to. And I feel that if you are starting to feel triggered in any way, you can have that support from those people that you know you could just text and they'll be right over. They could get a drink with you. You guys could just shift the energy. I feel that's what Spirit wants to remind you, is that when you kind of start getting back down into those challenges, those triggers that you may kind of experience being around certain people during this time, do something to take yourself out of that so you don't sink too low. I don't know, put on your favorite song. If you even want to dance a little bit, dance a little bit. Why not? I do feel there's an energy about even certain things you're going through and the healing that could be so strong, so heavy that you may be experiencing. Spirit also wants you to find the light and the love in your life, to do the things that will make you feel a bit more light, and light meaning energetically sporadic, energetically spontaneous. So that is something Spirit wants you to keep in mind of, because yeah, it is a heavy work you're doing, Gemini. What's crowning the reading is the Page of Air. I love this card in this deck. Air energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius energy, and I feel some of you may even have an air moon. But with this, I do feel that Spirit has been sending you signs, synchronicities about how to better understand the roots you came from, the situation you found yourself in that you may have been placed when being born in this lifetime. And as you understand that higher level of seeing things from a different perspective, the more it's growing this seed for you to become the King of Swords that you're becoming. But there may be new ways you have to react. There may be new ways you have to communicate. There may be new ways you have to see things. But I do feel the first step of all this is becoming aware. And now that you're aware, you're starting to see the difference in how you feel when you start to get triggered, or you're seeing the difference in how responding differently to someone can shift the entire conversation and not make it such a blow up every time. I do feel that you've always been very intelligent. You've always been very analytical. But there's something about the way that you are presenting yourself that is a lot more rational, a lot more grounded, that is really serving everyone around you, Gemini. It's even inspiring them to say, whoa, look at Gemini. They have a very detached but caring perspective of things. And your angels specifically want you to know that you're doing a good job with this, even if it gets hard, even if you doubt yourself, even if you have a messed up day where you kind of get out of your character and react in something, which we all do, quite honestly. You are still making the progress. You may be finding feathers quite a bit too, Gemini, at this time, and those feathers are messages from your angels letting you know, that they're there with you during this process. What's rooting this is the Two of Wands, Aries energy, and this is nice to see. This is nice to see because I feel that there are certain people who feel like they have to do something, even though they are not ready to, they don't want to, they don't see the point of it. And that's where the progress just becomes stalled. But for those of you that I'm tuning into right now, I do feel your desire for change, your desire to make something happen in your life. You see and feel that should this all start to fall into place, how much freer you will be mentally, how much freer you will be emotionally. So you do have the drive and the ambition to make it happen. And if this is back to the career, man, once you had the idea, it's not going to die down until it's yours. And Spirit admires your grit in that. But I also feel too a strong karmic relationship around you. And again, this could be romantic, platonic, but I feel family for a lot of you, where this person always feels like they have to compete with you. They have to compare themselves with you. And that does not have to be something you can partake in, Gemini. It's almost like a sibling rivalry I'm kind of picking up on, but it could be any dynamic, honestly. And you can let them play that game, but it should not disrupt your inner peace, your mental peace. As much as I get it, how triggering that can be, you're on to newer and better. You don't need to dive down into that energy to reconfirm for yourself how great you are. I do feel a lot of you are humble people, despite everything you're starting to become that people see as being almost grand, almost inspiring, right? So you may be triggering certain people because you're moving on. You're not living in the same perception, mindset, vibration anymore. And they may, I don't know, I usually don't feel this way with the Two of Wands, but I am feeling this energy of someone wanting to pick a fight with you. And that's the karma they need to heal within themselves. But maybe you're just reflecting what they don't feel for themselves. And what I mean by that is that if you don't feel like you're great, if you don't feel like you're doing well, and you're seeing someone else doing great, and this isn't someone who wants to improve their lives, they just want someone to blame. You may be that person they want to blame, Gemini. But with this Two of Wands, I'm almost looking at the Rider-Waite-Smith deck in my mind's eye. And you see this man who's just holding the wand, holding the world, looking over the balcony at other things that are going to serve them than where they're staying. So don't let anyone, anything distract you from the idea that you want to create with the Ten of Pentacles, that you want to make happen for a long time. Don't let anyone or anything try to distract you from that, because that is where the jackpot is. That is where the change will matter the most, is what you will do from now till the end of this lifetime. You're learning something very impactful here in December, and it's through the interactions of others and how you respond to that. So maybe even Spirit is throwing this person the wrench in the whole machine to see if you have learned from all that you've observed, from all that you've analyzed within yourself. Will you pass that test for some of you guys? Recent past, we have the Five of Cups. Scorpio energy. Yeah, and this is what I'm talking about with the emotional turmoil some of you may have been. And I don't even feel this is just the past as in the last few weeks or months. I feel this is something that you felt for a very, very long time. And that doesn't mean you're always sad. But I do feel with whatever happened within your family dynamic, with the direct people around you, or how you feel like you vibe in a certain environment, or almost every environment. For some of you, you're just cut from a different cloth. It's almost giving me like starseed energy here. But know that, Gemini, we can always focus on what went wrong, where we could have been if we were just born to a different family, if we had different people in our lives, how much better we can be. And maybe some of us started to realize that we were sitting in this place of sorrow, sadness for too long. And I want to respond differently so I can make peace with myself, even if this is involving other people. They may never say sorry. They may never hold themselves accountable. But will I be a victim to their unwillingness to rise up? I feel that's where something shifted, Gemini. And even if recently you experienced disappointment, I feel you're learning the lessons from it all. And I feel that if you've been emotional up and down, that's all about to change in December. And that's the part of you you're regaining back with this King of Swords energy. Because I don't know, I even feel you were the King of Swords, regardless of gender or sex, since you were a child. And maybe that part of you was fragmented from the experiences around you, but not anymore. You're picking up yourself back up again, and you're moving forward with the divine help of the angels. Because in the near future, we do have patience. Temperance energy, Sagittarius energy, and Libra energy for me as a reader personally. So this is something that will take some time. This is something that maybe even what you are visualizing with the 10 of Earth, there's divine timing at hand. And there may be certain things out of your control that the angels, the universe, God has to work through first before it can be yours in the physical reality of it. But if you just even tell yourself, I know it will be mine in the right time, in the right way, you'll already have that certainty where you can just let everything else fall into place. Now, I almost feel for some of you guys, you're going to get a significant sign from Spirit. I don't know if it's like something like a shooting star, a lightning bolt, something that feels serendipitous in the right time, in the right moment. And maybe it's something, again, where someone may start to be triggering you, someone may start to be tempting you and to go into a different vibration than what you've worked towards. And then in that moment, Spirit sends a message for you to remember who you are and remember the lessons you're trying to learn at this time and how you're trying to respond differently. But if it's even not something as grand as that, Gemini, it's just remembering how to balance your emotions. It's remembering how to keep still when there's chaos around you. And it's remembering that when you take the higher road, sometimes as hard as it is to take, there will be a reward at the end of it. The sun is always at the back of the Temperance card in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. And that is something to remind yourself, even when your ego is in fear or doubt if this will ever happen. Spirit is reassuring you with this Temper card. It is. We got you. We're doing everything we can on our end. Now all you have to do is be patient. Ask for guidance, ask for assistance, ask for support, and you shall receive it, Gemini. In big ways, in small ways, it all matters. Just as the work you're doing matters. All right, so let's go ahead and pull some oracle cards. Tell me more about December for Gemini, Spirit. The tree of wishes is calling your name. An almost forgotten wish will now come true. And the tree energy, again, is giving me very strong ancestral vibes. So I feel that the people, the energies, the angels that are watching over you are seeing the growth you've made. And it's going to continue to grow, Gemini, with this new mindset you have, this new understanding of yourself and your life. But with the 10 of Pentacles, maybe Spirit will send something that will help you understand whatever this 10 of Pentacles is in your life, the healing, the new way of living, the new way of understanding a business, whatever it is going to happen for you. And it may be that small thank you card that may be sent your way from a client who truly appreciates everything you've done. It may be a pay raise. It may just be a way that when you see that sign, when you remember to respond differently to certain situations, the beauty of what comes after that, from the reward of passing that final test, may be Spirit sending your way in December. And something will ground itself. Something will reveal itself that I feel you can see, you can sense. But this is the tree of wishes. It's not just one wish granted. And that's the blessing of the Ten of Pentacles that you're establishing for a long time. This is something that I feel will continue to prosper in your life as 2023 unfolds. New levels, Gemini, that you're soaring to. New understandings, new blessings come in from all of it. So keep that in mind, even during the toughest times you may encounter, that when I choose a higher way of living, a better way of going about certain situations, there will be rewards. Let's keep going. Tell me more about December for Gemini Spirit. In the flow. Nice. And it says everything is smooth sailing. So you are in the flow, Gemini. I do believe that some of you who maybe still be overcoming the 5 of water, when you start to calm yourself down, and again, have a good cry if you need to. I don't know why Spirit's guiding me to say this, but some of you find it very hard to cry. And maybe that's okay. Just go into the bedroom, take a bath, and just let it all out. And I feel that energetically that will be a huge release for you, and that will put you back in the flow again. But you are watched over, very much so. And you are someone that is starting to learn the art of flow in your life, where even if a rock just drops in front of you, you move around it. You don't try to keep on going, hitting the rock to think that it'll move for you. You learn how to gently and smoothly go through certain obstacles, relationships that isn't going to be attached to you, to where you respond in a different way that's different from who you are, in a lower integrity than what you're trying to achieve for yourself. And because this is giving me very strong Christmas vibes, there may be something happening for you around Christmas that is going to show you how far you've come. Again, whether that's just how you get along with your family members around that time, certain people in your life around that time, or maybe even a gift that you've been wanting, that you've been hoping for, that someone is giving to you. And maybe that's the person that is healing or wants to heal a relationship with you, Gemini. Just putting that out there for someone. Or again, if the holidays is hard, specifically Christmas, I think you guys are learning something differently this Christmas about how you want to celebrate it, how you want to honor yourself, even if you don't have a ton of people, a ton of family around you when Christmas comes around. Tell me more about December for Gemini. Beauty. Number 4 here. Nice. And it says, I have a form which is divine. I allow what is within to shine. Again, Gemini, you do have a piece of you that you've always had since you were a child that is of the light, that is of the divine. And you're getting more and more in touch with that in December through the work you're doing, the healing you're doing. And once you do that transformation within, everyone's going to notice it. Some people are going to be very drawn to it and want to heal with you. Others, they may be repulsed by it because they can't see that for themselves. What I feel very strongly here is that don't let the unhappiness of someone else, the pattern of the unhappiness that may have been so ingrained within your family, in your ancestral line, don't let that disturb the beauty you're creating for yourself, within and without. We have more power sometimes than we realize. Even when things are out of control, the only thing that can disrupt our peace of mind, our peace of heart, when we go through such hard times, is letting that energy that tries to attack us or to project onto us when. And some of you, this may, with the beauty card, I don't know, I'm just feeling the need to say that you guys may have always struggled with your physical appearance in some way. And if this is not your message, just bear with me for a second. But I don't know, something about your physical appearance you always were bothered with, or maybe you felt criticized for by family members specifically. Spirit wants you to pay no attention to what someone tells you you are and what you're worth, especially based on some sort of physical attribute. You are so much more than that. You're beautiful inside and out. And that's what Spirit wants to remind someone here very deeply if someone has been struggling with body security or self-love in any way. All right, let's go ahead and get one more card for my Geminis and see the last card that Spirit wants to talk to you about. Any last messages for you guys that you can remember? When those times you're triggered, during those times when you're feeling down. Whatever conflict you're going through, you'll make out of it victoriously, Gemini. Okay, especially with this new mindset you have, this new idea, this new ambition and drive to make your life better. It's going to show in the 3D how much that will serve you. Any last messages? There you go. Ooh, you get 2 cards? Okay, let's give them to Gemini. Let's see. We have Frog Prosperity. And it says, let go of the past and embrace change. Opportunities are close at hand. Hop into this new day with joy. Abundance and good fortune await you. So yeah, truly finances, wealth, prosperity is in the cards for you. I feel after all of this has been resonating with you, has been, what's the word? Has been marinating within your soul, within your vibe, within your energy. I do feel for the first 3 months of 2023, you're going to start to see the physical change that does, because as within, so without, as above, so below. And our positive thoughts, our positive ways of being attracts like. So I feel, Gemini, this is what's waiting for you on the other side. I do feel 2023 will be a different year for you as far as finances, prosperity, and abundance goes. And then B, community, yeah. I was feeling that strong community, ancestral, family vibes here. And here's the B coming through. And it says, you are a powerful creator. Your work blesses everything you touch. Be open to receiving sweetness. You are the queen and or king of abundance. Yeah, so like I said, what you're doing does matter. The work you're doing for others, the work you're doing for yourself does matter. And it's going to bring prosperity into your life. It's going to bring a sense of community into your life stronger than you may have felt before. So thank you, Gemini, so much for joining me for this reading. I hope it resonated with you. I hope it provided you with the clarity, insight, healing, guidance with whatever you're going through in December. And if it has, please let me know. Drop a comment below, hit that like button, don't forget to subscribe. I love you, Gemini, very much, and I'll see you next time. Take care, Gemini.